Go.
Hello, all Sports Tucson fans. This is Troy Hutchison with Javier Morales and Andy Morales. Usually we would be coming live from, Wings Over Broadway or Froggenfurken, but right now with the ongoing pandemic, we are unable to do that. But we're still having a good time in our living rooms and backyard like Andy, and we're here to talk some sports with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about Arizona football. There's a lot of topics you can talk about with Arizona football, but we will talk about expectations for next season and how realistic things are at Arizona. So I'll start off real quick. When you look at next season, there's a lot of talent on offense. I think we could all agree with that. Grant Gunnell coming back, Jamari Joyner, Tucson product, and they have a really good stable running backs. Not a lot of them are proven, but there's a lot of talent in that backfield. But the issues are on the defensive side of the ball like they have been for, about 10 years now for Arizona. You look at that defense, they just lost Scotty Young Jr., and there's just not a lot of talent there. The new defensive staff has said so themselves. They're being really realistic about it. So knowing all that, what are your guys' expectations for next season?
Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, well, as long as we improve on defense, I'm just looking for improvement in I don't want to say morale or chemistry, and the will to play. I think to compete. I think that needs to improve. I think a lot of people feel that the players really didn't give 100%. We can't prove that or not, but I just want to see a positive come out of this year. And defense. It's got to start on defense. We have the offense. Khalil Tate's gone, so that chemistry might change. But as long as there's a good atmosphere, if the season even takes place in the fall, we don't know. But just hoping.
Yeah, I think with Marcel Yates last year in the middle of the season, I think that backfired on Sumlin, and like Andy said, the morale was just shot. The players, you could tell they weren't through the motions in a few games, and it never corrected itself. They never went on an upswing after that. So these transfers you're seeing might be a good thing for both parties. Good for the player to start off somewhere new, and good for the new coaching staff to coach their players or coach up new players, because this is going to be a 5-win season tops for Arizona. I mean, if they win 6 games and go to a bowl, that'll be, it'd be amazing. But I don't see it right now. Matter of fact, we don't even know if they're going to have a season with how the things are going right now. Hope so, because obviously the U of A needs football to generate its budget. And like I was mentioning, you guys, Sumlin is actually I wouldn't want to say benefiting from it, but it's not hurting him that this is going on, because the U of A is not going to have a budget to let him go if things go wrong, very wrong next year with the football program. They just don't have money, so he could ride out this year and then come back the following year, just because of financial constraints. And you could take that for what it's worth, good or bad. That's the way things are right now. He is on the hot seat. There's no denying that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear Coach Sumlin is on the hot seat. You could tell fan interest really just pretty much ended after the first game of the year when they lost to Hawaii on the road. I know it's the first game of the season, but when you do lose to a team like Hawaii on the road, I know it's a tough environment to play in Hawaii. That's quite a trip, but you're expected to win those games, and when you're not winning games you're expected to win, it's a struggle. I think one game in particular last season that points out the defensive issues and the lack of effort, really, it was the Oregon State game. They ran the ball for almost 300 yards, and you look back at the tape, their offensive line, they weren't even touching a defender until 8 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's not a good sign when you're talking about defense.
Yeah, I mean, like Andy was talking about, you could tell that just their effort wasn't there. And that Oregon State game really stood out to me. It's like they were looking at when this game was going to be over with. And Oregon State, come on, I know they're an improving team, but they're not a team that should be scoring 50-some points against you. When they got shut out, I think they got shut out a couple of weeks before that, or only scored like 6 points against Utah at home.
Mm-hmm.
So Arizona's mentality was just shot from the beginning of the year from that Hawaii loss, and it just never corrected itself. Like I said, Marcel Yates, that was a debacle. And now someone's starting out with like a whole new staff of defensive coaches with a lot of new players.
He felt he needed more time too, which was interesting.
Yeah, I remember that spring interview with Coach Yates. He was talking about the coaching changes that he's experienced here at Arizona, which was only one. But he said that you talk about the first 2 years with Coach Rodriguez, now with Sumlin. He said basically it's his first season. Last I checked, 2 + 2 still equals 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just a bad situation. And best of luck to him at Cal. He is now their defensive backs coach. So we'll see how that plays out for the Cal Golden Bears, who had one of the best secondaries in the Pac-12 last season. But getting back to Arizona, you look at that schedule right now. Vegas has them, I believe, at 5.5 wins on the season.
4.5.
I don't see 4.5. Sorry. 4.5. I could see 4, but I do not see a potential of 5 wins at all. It's a tough schedule. I know they have a couple winnable games early on, but when you get into that gauntlet of USC, Oregon, Utah, ASU, I mean, that's going to be a tough stretch for Arizona even to come away with 1 win.
Yeah, I was looking at their schedule. I think there's 3 games that they should win, quote, should win. The Hawaii game, and then they play, let's see,
Portland
they play
State?
Colorado at home. I'm sorry, what was that?
Do they play Portland State, if I remember
Yes, I'm sorry.
correctly?
Yeah, Hawaii, Portland State, and Colorado at home. Those are 3 games that probably be favored in going into it. Those are the only 3 games they'll be favored going into the game. So I don't know where that extra 1.5 wins going to come from.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that rides out.
And you look at that game on the road at Texas Tech. They beat Texas Tech in Tucson last season, pulled off a 99-yard drive where they just ran the football down their throats. It's going to be different when you go to Lubbock. You're not going to be able to have the same success, have the fans on your side. That's a tough environment to play in.
Yeah, I think the Vegas odds makers are expecting another team to have a bad game, just like everybody has. That could be your 4th. But 6, it's going to be – does Portland State count towards 6?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know they changed the rule on the 1AA, whatever it is now. It's so it's yeah, I don't see 5, unless someone else stumbles, which is possible.
But there's 2 other coaches on the hot seat in the Pac-12 besides Sumlin. There's Chip Kelly at UCLA and Clay Helton at USC. If those programs are struggling, that could be there could be one of the wins right there against one of those 2 teams.
Yeah, everyone's worried about U of A, but imagine being a USC fan. I mean, this is we expect mediocrity in Tucson, but USC, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I think it surprised everybody when Clay Helton was kept on board to be the USC head coach, and he finished. I don't believe the recruiting class is finished yet. I think they're still getting some guys in. But last I saw, they were 11th in the Pac-12 in recruiting. When was the last time USC wasn't even in the top 3? Yeah. That's an embarrassment.
Well, they didn't get Bijan.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Arizona Football, all sports Tucson, but a little Arizona football talk. I'm sure we'll have many more to talk about issues with Arizona football along the way, and maybe some positives too. But we appreciate you coming by and watching this, and we'll see you next time.
All right.